In the quiet town of Meadowbrook, nestled between rolling hills and shadowed by ancient forests, a chilling incident unfolded, leaving the community on edge. It all began with Sarah, a hardworking woman who sought to earn some extra income by driving for DoorDash on the weekends. Late one evening, Sarah embarked on her delivery rounds. With her day job keeping her occupied until the night, she ventured out into the dimly lit streets shortly after 9 o'clock. As she completed her first order and made her way back to the restaurant area, an eerie sense of unease settled upon her. Despite the bustling weekend atmosphere, there seemed to be an unusual lull in the number of orders coming through. Sarah found herself driving in circles, searching for her next delivery opportunity. 10 minutes passed, feeling like an eternity, without a single order appearing on her screen. A solitary order eventually materialized, albeit a small one with a meager tip. Determined to make the best of the situation, she accepted it, realizing that even modest earnings were better than none. Having collected the order from Taco Bell, Sarah diligently counted the items, ensuring their accuracy. 2 tacos and a handful of hot sauce packets comprised the delivery. A pang of realization struck her as she contemplated how the delivery fee likely surpassed the value of the food itself. Nevertheless, she confirmed the pickup and received the directions to the customer's house, a mere 10-minute drive away in an ordinary neighborhood. As Sarah traversed the darkened streets, she encountered little traffic, accentuating the desolation of the late hour. Pausing at a red light, she found herself alone at the intersection. However, her solitude was abruptly interrupted when a truck pulled up alongside her vehicle. Curiosity gripped her, and she glanced sideways, only to meet the intense gaze of a man who appeared to be fixated on something within her car. Startled, Sarah turned her head fully, finding the man craning his neck to peer into her passenger seat, which housed the unmistakable DoorDash delivery bag. The light turned green, and she instinctively pressed on the gas pedal, eager to distance herself from the inexplicable intrusion. Glancing at her rearview mirror, she noticed the truck now trailing behind her, maintaining a cautious distance. Anxiety mingled with the night air as Sarah continued along her route. Uncertainty gnawed at her, unsure if the truck was genuinely following her or if it was mere coincidence. The straight path ahead offered no respite, and her apprehension grew. With each passing minute, her suspicions intensified, fueled by the memory of the man peering into her car. Nearing her destination, Sarah made a turn into the neighborhood, fervently hoping to leave the mysterious truck behind. However, her hopes were shattered when the truck, against the odds, followed suit, turning in behind her. Rationalizing that it could be mere coincidence, she cautiously maneuvered through a series of turns, her eyes darting between the road and the truck in her rearview mirror. Guided by the delivery instructions, Sarah found herself on a narrow road, houses lining either side. The address she sought lay at the end of this street, ominously marked by a dead-end sign. Braking and pulling over, she fixated on her rearview mirror, heart pounding. To her dismay, the truck halted behind her, its headlights illuminating the tense tableau. A sudden buzz of her phone startled Sarah, breaking the silence. It was a text from the DoorDash customer, inquiring about the estimated arrival time. Connecting the dots, a chilling realization settled upon her. The man in the truck, likely her customer, had orchestrated this unsettling encounter, deliberately waiting for her to exit the safety of her vehicle. Caught in a web of fear and desperation, Sarah found herself trapped without a clear escape plan. Panic clawed at her mind, racing against time to find a solution. In the midst of her frantic contemplation, the man emerged from his truck, his gaze locked onto her. With bated breath, she watched him approach, his presence looming larger through the rear windshield. As seconds stretched into eternity, the man abruptly slammed an object into her windshield, shattering the glass. Instinct kicked in, and Sarah swiftly shifted her car into drive, pressing down on the accelerator with all her might. As the man lunged toward her vehicle, attempting to crawl through the broken glass, she narrowly evaded him, executing a daring U-turn that left him sprawled on the pavement. Carefully maneuvering her car between his truck and the narrow street, Sarah seized the opportunity to escape. The man, disoriented and momentarily stunned, struggled to rise to his feet. Heart pounding, Sarah sped away, her trembling hands clutching the steering wheel, as she dialed 911 to report the chilling encounter that had unfolded. Deep within the heart of Whispering Pines, a small, secluded town cloaked in an air of mystery, a sinister tale unfurled. It began on a moonlit night when John, an ordinary man driving home from work, unknowingly embarked on a journey that would forever haunt his dreams. The clock struck midnight as John traversed his usual route, the desolate road winding its way through the eerie outskirts of the town. Surrounded by sprawling cornfields on one side and a dense patch of foreboding woods on the other, he found himself enveloped in an unsettling silence. The night air was unusually warm, coaxing him to lower the convertible top of his car and relish the freedom of the open road. Suddenly, a bone-chilling scream pierced the tranquility, shattering the calm night air. John's heart skipped a beat as he slammed his foot on the brake pedal, bringing his vehicle to an abrupt halt. The origins of the terrifying cry remained elusive, with the woods on one side and the cornfield on the other concealing its source. Determined to lend a helping hand, John leaped out of his car, retrieving a sturdy baton from the back seat. His footsteps carried him towards the woods, where he called out to the woman, urging her to identify herself. In response, a desperate plea for assistance echoed through the darkness. Driven by a mix of adrenaline and compassion, he plunged deeper into the woods, pushing aside branches and foliage in his relentless pursuit. John's voice echoed through the dense forest, instructing the woman to continue screaming so he could locate her. Every few seconds, her pleas for help punctuated the silence, guiding him through the labyrinthine thicket. Yet, an eerie revelation dawned upon him. Despite his breakneck speed and unwavering determination, the cries remained consistently distant, defying the laws of proximity. The realization sent shivers cascading down John's spine. An unsettling feeling settled in his gut, and he abruptly halted his frenzied search. Doubt crept into his mind, whispering warnings of a treacherous trap. Turning on his heels, he sprinted back towards his car, desperately seeking the sanctuary of its illuminated headlights. As he raced through the underbrush, the woman's anguished screams persisted, taunting him with their unchanging distance. It was as though a malevolent force was toying with him, luring him deeper into its web of deception. He cried out, imploring the woman to divulge her location, but her desperate calls for help only fueled his growing unease. Finally, John emerged from the suffocating embrace of the woods, the pulsating glow of his car beckoning him from a distance. Though he had put significant distance between himself and the enigmatic cries, the haunting scream still echoed in his ears, relentlessly pursuing him like an intangible specter. Overwhelmed by fear and a gnawing sense of impending doom, John leapt into his car, his trembling hands struggling to find solace on the steering wheel. Without a moment's hesitation, he accelerated away, leaving the sinister forest behind. Desperation coursed through his veins as he dialed emergency services, recounting the nightmarish encounter that had unfolded. A week later, a news report emerged, evoking a torrent of revulsion within him. The lifeless body of a woman, her age barely reaching its prime, had been discovered in the very same woods. The life he had once heard pleading for salvation had met a tragic and untimely end. "17-year-old Mark and his girlfriend, Sarah, both faced the challenges of adolescence while shouldering the responsibilities of work and school. In the depths of their senior year, their pockets held little more than the dreams of a promising future. Despite their meager circumstances, Mark summoned the courage to ask Sarah out on a date, eager to create a lasting memory with his first love. Their date began with a modest meal at a nearby restaurant, their laughter and conversation filling the air. However, the constraints of their financial limitations soon became evident, shortening the evening prematurely. Determined to salvage the night, they agreed to embark on a nocturnal adventure, venturing onto the quiet roads that wound through the dense woods that embraced their town. The darkness enveloped them as they meandered through the deserted streets, the hum of the engine the only companion to their whispered conversations. With each passing mile, the road dwindled into a rugged path, the tires of their car crunching upon the coarse gravel. An overwhelming urge to relieve themselves gripped both Mark and Sarah, urging them to seek respite in the isolation of nature. Pulling over, the couple stepped out of the car, their noses assailed by a repugnant odor that hung heavy in the air. Brushing it off as a chance encounter with another person seeking relief in the wilderness, they proceeded with their intentions, their bladders demanding their attention. As they ventured into the secluded area, a scream of terror or agony pierced the silence, resonating through the night. Startled, Mark and Sarah hurriedly made their way back to the safety of their vehicle, their hearts pounding in their chests. Fear intertwined with curiosity, compelling Mark to investigate the origin of the spine-chilling scream. With a sense of foreboding, he locked the car doors, leaving Sarah inside for her protection. Driven by a mixture of bravery and trepidation, Mark followed the sound, his phone's flashlight piercing the darkness. In the distance, he caught a glimpse of a figure illuminated by his phone's flash. A man clad in a white shirt adorned with black stripes stood before him, a blue tarp unfurled at his feet. The sight sent shivers coursing through Mark's veins, draining him of the courage that had propelled him forward. Retreating in haste, Mark sprinted back to the car, his mind consumed by the haunting image he had witnessed. Unlocking the doors with trembling hands, he dove into the safety of the driver's seat, his foot pressing the accelerator to its limits. Fear mingled with relief as he sped away, leaving behind the enigma that had gripped him in its sinister clutches. Returning to the sanctuary of Sarah's home, the couple sought solace within the confines of her room. Trembling, Mark recounted the encounter, showing her the photograph he had captured. The terror etched upon her face mirrored his own, their minds racing with unanswered questions. The unspoken bond forged that night only strengthened their resolve to remain best friends, despite the eventual end of their romantic relationship. Years have passed, and the memory of that fateful night continues to haunt Mark and Sarah. The mystery of the man with the blue tarp and the chilling scream in the woods forever lingers, a testament to the darkness that can infiltrate even the most innocent of moments. Their lives have taken different paths, but the bond they share remains unbroken, their intertwined past forever woven into the tapestry of their lives. The tale of Mark and Sarah serves as a cautionary reminder that the world teems with hidden horrors, lurking just beneath the surface of ordinary existence. It urges us to tread carefully, for within the shadows lies the potential for malevolence and the piercing scream that echoes through the night, forever etching fear into our souls.